Ultra warning. You guys, this is huge. If Bitcoin is unable to do this in the next few days, then we could be seeing a massive pullback in the short term. As we speak, Bitcoin is actually at the exact bottom of this golden pocket, right around the 9650 level. It is at the absolute bottom. If we get rejected off of this weekly Fibonacci retracement, guys, things could get absolutely chaotic. You can see we've been struggling to stay afloat here, and we've been struggling to get above $9,800. We'll take a look at that price in this video. And as well, on the 4-hour chart, you can see 3 distinct times that we were forming slightly lower highs here. Will Bitcoin be able to continue the momentum and push up, or will we face a sharp rejection? And what level would that rejection bring us down to? Since April 1st, we've been trading above this 21-day simple moving average here on the daily chart. We've been above it basically the entire time, and we found support here every single time. If we get a pullback, could this act as a level of support? We'll take a look at what level this is and what are the chances that does happen. As well, guys, good news, we actually filled the CME gap already that we created over the weekend. It was a pretty small gap, but any gap is considered very dangerous. You can see here on these 4-hourly candles that we've already filled this gap. I had this drawn here last night, and you can see when I woke up, we'd already filled it, guys. So that's good news, so we don't have to worry about that. However, it's still likely that maybe we could be seeing one final rejection before this really gets started. Additionally, is it possible that a long squeeze is incoming? There are 3 reasons, according to this article by Joseph Young, why Bitcoin's price may sharply correct in the short term. Okay, maybe one final dump before we absolutely go into a very parabolic year. But here are 3 really enticing pieces of evidence of why we could be seeing a very big long squeeze shortly here. And as well, the Bitcoin block generation speed falls to 2017 lows. What does this mean? Is this good or bad? There's less incentive for certain miners to be on the network because of this recent halving, as expected. But what are the long-term implications, and could this end up being extremely bullish for the market? Ratatouille is my favorite movie. Let's do this. Whoa, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Monday 2020. There is some very positive news, but guys, there is some news and some evidence on these charts that maybe we'll be seeing a pullback this week. And guys, you know we've been saying this for a while. Everybody has been saying this for a while. One more substantial pullback might be necessary before we get this thing really kicked off for the second half of this year, going into 2021 and maybe even bleeding over into 2022. Now that is exciting. So we'll take a look at that. And we see some certain signs on these charts, guys. Bitcoin has been, as expected, finding heavy resistance around the $10,000 USD level. It has not faced any significant rejection off of there in the past few weeks, and it has been testing it relentlessly. So we really have to delve into that. And then as well, take a look at what's going on in some of these leverage exchanges and what they're showing, because potentially we could be seeing a big squeeze coming in the near future. Wow, so thanks so much everyone for entering. We just actually shipped out the winners of the 2 ledgers from last week, so congratulations. You should be receiving them soon. And as well, guys, if you want to enter, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the dings. And as well, if we can hit 1,300 likes in this video, we'll be giving away this ledger tomorrow. So guys, make sure you smash it up. And as well, guys, if you want my little boy genius strategies for trading and understanding these markets, make sure to join T4 below, $40 off with coupon code JUICE at checkout. Shoot me an email at tylerscrypto@protonmail.com. Any questions? And as well, you can reach me there if you want to pay in Bitcoin or a few other cryptocurrencies, guys. We have a lot of different options. Wow, guys, huge. So this is critical. We take a look on the daily chart here for Coinbase. You can see, this is actually pretty insane here. We have tested this line many times over the past 2 years. Okay, we can zoom back and show you, but we've never tested it this long, and we've never tested it this closely to the line. This is absolutely insane. These are daily candles. Let's look at 4-hour candles. Look at this. Really since May 7th. So 11 entire days where we spent at least 50% of those days absolutely just like touching and hugging on this line. We can zoom back and show you something similar. Look at this. We barely even got up to it here, and we got rejected pretty quickly. So, pretty much come up, boom, down. Look at this. Not only did we just not get rejected here, we stayed here, got rejected, came up again, got rejected even less intensely, came up again, and even less rejection so far, and potentially could we be heading up to test this yet again? Remember, every day, every 4 hour, every minute that goes by, this line gets lower and lower. It's descending. So, say something crazy would happen where we would still be testing this line a year from now. This line would be thousands of dollars less. Okay, that's obviously not going to happen. That would never happen. But this line, every minute that goes by gets lower and lower. And so far, we've just been, completely not even getting a strong rejection. So there's one scenario that we actually don't get pushed off and we actually have a massive breakout of this still. And that's most importantly, the most bullish scenario. But again, there is a time frame on this. We can't just test this line for the next 2 weeks and expect everything to be hunky-dory, right? We can't just sit here and keep testing this. We can't do something like this, okay? Get smaller and smaller rejections and then do that forever. There's going to be a sharp move soon, and we'll show you why we think it'll actually happen very, very soon. And if Bitcoin is going to have a breakout to the upside, we need to see it extremely soon. And in fact, a breakout to the downside has to happen basically the same amount of time from now. They both need to happen extremely soon. So if we take a look on this chart on the weekly, this is really important here. You can see we have the golden pocket still, and what's one thing you notice? We talked about this in yesterday's video, but now look at this. We wicked up here back on the week of the 4th. So 2 weeks ago, we wicked up here, got rejected. Then we had this weekly close just 2 days ago, right here. Actually, just yesterday, right here. You can see right at the very bottom of this golden pocket. This is the golden pocket right here between the 618.65. So we had it right at the bottom. Now, right here, we were actually spending a lot of time trading again right there. Now, we're slightly above it as I'm recording this, but who knows if this is going to push up by the time this video gets uploaded. Again, really bullish momentum overall on the weekly. You can see on a MACD as well. There's a lot of indicators on the weekly on these longer time frames showing a lot of extreme bullishness. Okay, so if you go week by week, most likely, in my opinion, we're going to see something like that. However, in the short term, you can't count out something like this, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about here. If we cannot hold this level, then I think that's going to be crucial. And one final shakeout could even push us all the way down to the $8,100, $8,200 level, but we'll talk about that a little more in the future. Specifically now, you see, as we see here zoomed in on the 4 hour, look at this. All of these touches, this is multiple 4 hour candles here as well, and the same thing here, all touching this basically same level right around the 9,800 US dollar level that we've just not been able to get above 9,800 significantly and stay above it basically since back in February of 2020. We went on that very nice $4,000 run over a very short amount of time. Now, update on this chart, you can see here still clearly above this line, which is very important. A pullback again could bring us all the way down to the $8,800 has been crucial lately, specifically over the past about month almost. We've been trading and finding support there on this uptrend. On this uptrend, 8,800 has been crucial. It's been like the lowest point of pretty strong support. We've had strong support slightly above that around 92, but when we really are starting to face trouble, 88 comes in and so far has saved us over the past month. And 88 also is the point of control, which is like the max amount of volume in this time period that we have specified, which is the exact date is about a month worth of volume. So this is the point of control for the past month, okay, right around 88. So again, that shows such a strong level of support and traded volume where it really has been bouncing so far. So again, we can't keep testing this. Like we mentioned earlier, we can't keep testing this and nothing will happen. Eventually, if we keep testing this, we're going to get a massive breakout. And if we keep failing to get above it, guys, we're going to get a massive rejection. And we'll show you here, most likely, what could be a very big level of rejection territory here would be on the daily chart. This 21-day moving average, this light blue line right here. As you can see, if we zoom back, ever since pretty much April 1st, when we kind of broke out of this, after what happened in March 12th, when we finally got above this, back above the 21-day, we've been basically above it the entire time. So for the past 2 months. Now, we're significantly above it now. We touched on 10K back on May 7th, and we got rejected. And we went down to 85, which is exactly where the 21-day moving average was. This is where we found support for 3 entire days before we found this second bounce. Now, we got a rejection here, and we found support slightly above the 21-day, actually around 9,100. Testing it again. If we face another rejection, okay, it's likely that we'll at least come down to this area, but if this area doesn't hold, guys, we could be seeing that area push back to the 8,800 and worst case, maybe even the $8,100, $8,200 level. So as you can see here, we're going to be looking at this. We have this sloping line of resistance, and we have this line right here, which is the 21-day moving average right here. So it'll most likely be something like that. But as you can see, there's not a lot of room in this area, and we're most likely going to see a very violent, big move out of there fairly soon. Whether it's up, whether it's down, nobody knows just yet, but there is some indications, and we can get into that right here. So we have a long squeeze incoming potentially. 3 reasons why Bitcoin's price could sharply correct, and this would be in the short term. So in the last week, Bitcoin's price rejected $10,000 3 times raising the probability of a long squeeze. So for anybody that doesn't know, a long squeeze is basically, you know, when there's a ton of longs in the markets, and if they're liquidated, they get squeezed out, and basically what that can do is push the price down. So 3 factors suggest Bitcoin's price may correct following its recent rally from 9,100 to 9,900. The overwhelmingly large number of longs to shorts, rising funding, and a possible triple lower high formation. So this is big right here. Across Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance Futures, over 77% of the traders are holding long positions on average. So basically 3/4 of people across these major exchanges are expecting the price to rise. In total, on the 3 futures exchanges online, there is $763 million worth of longs, whereas there's only $221 million worth of shorts currently. If the price of Bitcoin is going to go up without facing significant resistance, a high number of long contracts can be considered very optimistic. It suggests the majority of the market is expecting the price of Bitcoin to increase in the short term. For example here, Joseph gives this example when Bitcoin rose from 8,500 to 10,000, okay, a $1,500 increase within 4 days. 4 days, the very beginning of this month, the market was majority long. The difference between now, though, and at the very beginning of this month is the current price trend is almost 80% of traders in the futures market are long while testing the same area, 99 and 10,000, that has failed to overcome those levels in the past 2 weeks. So there's an abnormally high percentage of these long contracts in the Bitcoin's futures market, and the high funding rate are seen as potential catalysts of a steep pullback because it's at a very strong level of resistance. It's not only strong just for the past few weeks, this is a strong level of resistance for the past 2.5 years for the entire bear market. Okay, so a triple lower high, a pattern composed of 3 low consecutive peaks, increases the likelihood of that Bitcoin could experience a sharp correction. Now, I do want to actually point out here, you can see on the daily chart, so far it actually is lower highs. Okay, this is our first high, then we had this second high right here, and so far the daily close is significant. It's actually slightly below that. So you can see 1, that's a bad arrow, 1, 2, 3, and they're getting lower each time. So that potentially might not be good, but again, that also could be a part of a different pattern that's forming. Just consolidation in general before breakouts is very common, so that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go down. So we need to watch out for that. And as well, you guys, the Bitcoin block generation speed falls to 2017 lows. So basically what this means is that only 95 blocks were generated. Normally they're generated every 10 minutes. Only 95 were generated yesterday because of the recent halving, according to an analyst that we're going to talk about here. The analyst here, Digitalex, says many miners cannot generate a profit because their expenses are still the same and the income is cut in half because of the halving. Okay, in the last 10 years, we've only had 8 days with less than 100 blocks. Think about that. Yesterday we had less than 100 blocks, and there's only been 8 days in the past 10 years that there's been a day without 100 blocks or more. There's a quote here by him as well saying, "I don't think the next difficulty adjustment will bring it back to 10 minutes per block. Adjustment is done based on the entire period average." Basically what he's saying here is that if the price breaks above 10K and keeps going up, then some of the miners might actually turn back on their equipment and hash rate would increase, which would be good for Bitcoin. We ideally want higher hash rate. But an incentive for them to do that is if the price of Bitcoin goes higher. However, it's not going higher. And this is bullish because in the long term, or at least it's hypothesized, this will continuously push Bitcoin to higher and higher valuations because of this fundamental principle here in regards to Bitcoin being mined, which again has a lot to do with the stock to flow and everything like that. So it's just really important to keep a note of. So guys, absolutely massive. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure, if you smash the likes, we can get above, I think it was 1,300 likes. We'll be doing this giveaway for the Ledger tomorrow. And guys, as well, if you want to learn some of my strategies and just really useful TA, I think, and everything I basically think you need to know on a day-to-day basis for Bitcoin, understanding everything, how to use the charts and everything, you need to check out T4 in the comments below, guys. Also in the description, if you enter the code JUICE at checkout, you get $40 off. Absolutely massive. These strategies are invaluable in my opinion, and they're what I've been using for the past 3.5 years. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!